everyone, welcome back to Beauty Beyond 40. If you're new here, my name's Trina, I'm 47 years old. I make videos mostly about beauty devices and some skincare, so if you're interested in these topics, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel before you leave. Today's video is a video I know you've all been waiting for. It is my Myolift TriWave demo. This is the latest microcurrent device from 7E Wellness, and you currently can only get it from the Art of Skincare website. And Jeana at Art of Skincare reached out to me and was so generous to send me a device to try out. And although she gifted me this device, this video is not sponsored. The device retails for $795 US. I have no promo code right now. I don't know if I will in the future. It's such a new device and they're not offering discounts on it anywhere. So I have a link down in the description if you want to shop it from the Art of Skincare website. This device will be available on the 7E Wellness site later this year, I believe. So I'll keep you updated, but for right now, you can shop it on the Art of Skincare website. And the reason why you can shop it there is because Jeana from Art of Skincare collaborated with 7E Wellness to create this new device. So I'm gonna talk you through the new features on this device that's different from the Myolift Mini. I'm going to talk you through everything you get when you order the TriWave device. If you're not familiar with Art of Skincare, it was founded by licensed esthetician Jeana Leclerc. She's so knowledgeable and she sells a lot of devices on her website, but she also sells a lot of great skincare that you can purchase to go along with your devices. So that's a top question I get a lot. What skincare can I use with my microcurrent devices? And when you shop for this TriWave device, she actually has put together some sets that you can add to your cart to help you with your specific skincare needs. So if you have acne or you have dry skin or you're looking to brighten your skin like I would be, you can purchase an add-on kit. So if you're not familiar with her site, click through the link down below in the description and you can learn more about it. She has great tutorials on her site as well. There's a learn section where you can watch videos, where you can learn more about this TriWave device and also a whole bunch of other devices that she sells on her site. It's just a wealth of information and a really great resource, and also the only place that you can shop the TriWave right now. In putting together this video, I had a whole bunch of questions because I wanted to make sure that I was really detailed and really thorough. So her team was fabulous at getting back to me. They answered every question that I had in really great detail. I asked a lot of questions, so hopefully at the end of this video you won't have any more questions about this device, but if you do, please drop them in the comments as usual. So this device, this TriWave device, is different from the Myolift Mini because it has 3 waveforms. It has 3 modes. On the Mini, it has erase and educate. So erase is smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles, it's lengthening the muscles, and educate is lifting and tightening and toning the muscles. It's plumping and firming and giving you that sculpted look in your cheeks, for example. But the additional mode that this TriWave device offers is called Rejuve, and it's essentially a lymphatic drainage mode. And it's a mode that you would use first before erase and educate. And I have a demo later in the video where I walk you through using all 3 of those modes. When you shop this device for $795, sounds like a lot, but you are getting that extra mode. You're also getting gel, the probes, a power cord to charge up the battery, a lead wire splitter, the eye, lip, and forehead masks, and you also get an Art of Skincare Tassie to hold your hair back while you're using the device. I think this is a really great accessory because you'll see later in the demo, I pulled my hair back with a headband and my hair did get in the way of the probes on my neck because you're doing a lot of lymphatic drainage around the neck area and it was getting in the way of my probes. So if you have long hair, I highly recommend getting this Tassie because it'll really keep your hair out of the way. You do get a lot for that price point, and it's like having an additional lymphatic drainage device all in one, along with the wrinkle smoothing and the lifting, tightening, toning of those muscles. So let's talk a little bit more about the Rejuve mode, or the Rejuve waveform. You use it the same way you would use erase and educate in that you're using a conductive gel and you're using the probes, and you just select the Rejuve mode on the device. You're using the probes for lymphatic drainage. When you have a lot of stagnant lymph in your face and in your neck, it can start to age your skin. So you're using the probes to move that lymph to the side of your face so that you can drain it down your lymphatic drainage system, and you're helping to detox the skin and depuff the skin, and it's such a great mode to prep your skin for the erase and educate modes. Now you can use Rejuve every single day if you wanted to use it to press in a serum, for example. I have an Osea serum that I love to use that I know conducts microcurrent. You could use the Rejuve every single morning on its own and not erase and educate, just to press that serum into your skin to do lymphatic drainage and just give your skin a nice glow, because you don't want to do erase and educate every single day. You definitely want to give your muscles a rest. So Rejuve is a mode that you could use just for a few minutes every single day if you wanted to. So that's something that's different from the other modes. Also, Rejuve mode can help increase penetration of any serums or conductive gels into the skin. So if you're using a gel that has a lot of wonderful skincare ingredients, it is going to push those deeper into the skin. So you could use like a hyaluronic acid serum and then put your gel on top. And the great thing about the Myolift devices is that there is a conductivity bar. So you can test new serums or test different gels or serums and see if they're conducting the microcurrent. So if you have a serum that you love that you want to push into your skin deeper to get more benefits, you can just try it out and test placing the probes on your skin and see if the conduction bar turns solid. That's one of the top reasons I love these Myolift devices, because you're never guessing if you're getting conduction. So you could play around with peptide serums, with copper serums, hyaluronic acid serums, and see if they conduct the current. And those would be wonderful serums to use during the Rejuve mode that you could also use for erase and educate. What I like about using my Osea serum is that I can place the serum on, and then I can use the Rejuve mode on my face, and then I don't have to rinse the gel off. So then I move on to the next step of my skincare routine. It keeps me more motivated, and I actually use the device more if I know that I don't always have to wash off the gel. So I do recommend that you find a serum that you really like to use, that you can get conduction with, to help motivate you to use your Myolift devices more. Other things that it does, it helps eliminate toxins in the skin, it calms the skin, it's boosting ATP, which is cellular energy, it's boosting circulation, it's giving you more rosy, more vital, more alive looking skin, it's removing that stagnation. It's also great for dark circles under the eyes. A lot of people may have stagnation here at the bottom of their chin, or they think they have a double chin or like a turkey neck. By doing this Rejuve mode, you can help to move some of that lymph away and drain it and give your skin a much more youthful, tighter look. It's calming, it's healing, it's energizing, and it's also great if you have acne because it helps to detoxify the skin. With this mode, anytime you're doing any kind of lymphatic drainage, it's so important to drink a lot of water. Whenever I'm doing a microcurrent facial, I always will drink water before, during, and after, but it's especially important when you're doing lymphatic drainage because you are detoxifying the skin and draining that lymph. So you need to replenish and hydrate your body with water. So make sure that you're drinking water so that you get the best results. This mode will help with broken capillaries, which I know is a frequently asked question on my channel. It will not help heal existing ones. It will help reduce future broken capillaries. For today's demo, I'm only going to be using the probes, but later on I'll create some tutorials around the masks. The TriWave comes with the eye mask, the lip mask, and the forehead mask. I don't have tutorials for those right now, but you can go to the Art of Skincare website or the YouTube channel and see demos for how to use those masks with the TriWave. The big difference with this device is that extra Rejuve mode, and I'm gonna go into a demo to show you how to use Rejuve, followed by erase, followed by educate with the probes. So I have my TriWave device with the probes, my conductive gel, and this is the Tove Promoter Collagen Gel. This is the gel that Jeana says she likes to use with the TriWave, so I'm gonna give it a go. And then I have a little bowl to put my conductive gel in so that I can apply it really easily without it getting messy and all over my hands, because I will use this little brush to apply the gel. When you first get your probes, they might feel a little short here to use. All you need to do is pull them apart as much as you want so you've got a comfortable amount of space between the probes to use. And you can pull them apart as long as you want. I did get some questions about that recently on my YouTube channel, so I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. All right, so my face is clean and dry. I'm going to apply some of the gel. So I will squirt some into my bowl. I'm gonna grab my brush and I'm going to apply it all over my neck and my face. And if you would like, you can just apply it on the neck to start and then apply it elsewhere on the face. But I like to apply it everywhere and work quickly, and then I like to use the Lymph Isocell Recovery Solution spray to re-wet the gel as needed, because as you probably know, your face has to be really wet. The gel has to be really wet. You need a lot of slip to move the probes across your face and neck, and also to conduct the current. I'm going to press the power button to turn it on, and then I'm going to hit the Rejuve button. I'm going to use it on level 2 at 300 because that's how Jeana does it in her tutorial. You can go up to 400 if you'd like, but because I'm just getting started with Rejuve, I'm going to use her recommended intensity of 300. And then I'm going to hit run to make sure the device is working. I'm going to go ahead and spritz my face just to make sure it's nice and wet before I get started. When I put the probes on my skin, I see the conductivity bar is solid, so I know I have conduction. That's a great feature of this device. So I'm going to start by opening up the lymph nodes at the bottom of my neck to open up that channel so that while we're working the face, the lymph has a place to drain. I'm going to do this 5 to 10 times. So slowly, 2, 3, ugh, my hair is getting in the way, 4. So I find it easier to hold the probe at the top with my left hand and then move the other probe down with my right hand, because my right hand is my dominant hand and it's easier for me to do. So that's that side I've opened up. Now I'm going to go to the other side, and again I'm going to place this probe up here under my ear with my left hand, and with my right hand I'm going to pull the probe down. And I'm not getting conduction, so I'm going to wet the area. There we go. I'm going to drag it down 5 to 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And don't worry if you're having a hard time getting conduction. It can be a little tricky to get started with this because there's so much going on and you're making sure that the probes are placed properly. You're looking into the device constantly to make sure you have conduction. You want to make sure you have enough gel and that your gel is wet enough. So there's a lot going on and you can feel a little clumsy. I'm really new to the Rejuve mode, so I do feel a little bit clumsy, but it definitely gets easier over time. So don't worry if you're feeling a little clumsy. And set aside enough time to really get the movement right so that you're not feeling rushed. Because the Myolift TriWave is a little bit more complicated than other microcurrent devices that you might have used, and even more complicated than the Mini because it has this extra mode. So don't worry if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or feeling like you're a little clumsy. Okay, so now I've opened up these lymph node channels so we can move to the higher portion of my face. Okay, so I'm gonna give a spritz to make sure that the gel is really wet. I'm going to start on my right forehead eye area. I'm going to place one of my probes here at my temple, and I'm going to start at the top of my forehead and checking to make sure I have conduction, and I'm going to move the probe over to the side. I'm making sure that I'm not touching the probes together, so make sure you're not touching them because I do believe that breaks the current and you don't want to do that. So then I'll move to the center of my forehead and move it to the side, and then right over my eyebrow to the side. I'm going to do that 5 times. So starting at the top, then in the center, and then at the bottom over the eyebrow. I look at the device and I see it has conductivity, but I can also see the current in my eye. Sometimes you see little flashes, and that's how I know that it's working, because you don't feel it in your skin. So the top, the middle, and then over the eyebrow. 2 more times. At the top, the middle, and over the eyebrow. 1 more time. And I'm going slowly and I'm applying light pressure because I want to make sure it's moving that lymph. And whenever I'm doing any lymph node work, I start to feel my sinuses start to drain. I have a lot of sinus issues. If you're feeling that, that is normal. I make sure that I drink a lot of water before and after a treatment like this, even during if you want to bring your water, because it really helps to flush your system. So if you have sinus issues and you start to notice your sinuses start to move or start to get in the back of your throat, that means that the lymphatic drainage is actually working. Now I'm going to move down to the cheek area. So I'm going to place one probe here on the side here, just below where I had it before. And I'm going to start underneath the eye and sweep the probe to the side. And then I'll move it down. And then I'll do it right above the lip. And I'm going to do that now 5 times. At the top, in the middle, and just above the lip. So at the top, in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to move this probe down just at the bottom of my earlobe here. I'm going to start at the top of my lip and move it to the side 1. Then move it down here on the side of my lip, and then I'm going to grip my jawline here and just push it out. So 5 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you find that this area of your face is a little bit puffy, you can do it 10 times, is what Jeana recommends. So I'll just go ahead and do a few more, just to make sure that we're moving all of the lymph and really detoxifying this part of the face. Okay, now that we've finished the side of the face, I'm going to drain the lymph. I've pushed all the lymph to the side by all the movements I did, and then we're going to push the lymph down and drain it down that channel that we opened at the beginning of this routine. So I'm going to place one probe here. Make sure it's nice and wet. I'm going to place one probe here under my ear, take one probe here at my forehead, and I'm just going to drag the probe down to bring the lymph down. And I'm being careful not to touch the probes together. Okay, the next step is to clear out that lymph down the neck that we just moved down to the top of the neck. So I'm going to place one probe here at the bottom of my neck, and then I'm going to just move across my neck at the top, never touching the thyroid, never touching the throat, and I'm going to move it across 4 areas, 4, and then I'll do that 5 to 10 times. So start at the top of your neck, move it to the side, and then 2nd position, 3rd position, 4th position, and I'll just do that 5 to 10 times. And then I'm going to do the final movement where I keep this probe here at the side of my neck, and I'm going to pull all the lymph down from the top all the way down past my ear, down my neck. And I'm going to do that 5 to 10 times. I'm going to make sure that I've got enough wetness so I can keep getting conduction. And that's it for this side of the face. I'm gonna move to the other side of the face, and I'm gonna apply a little bit more gel because my face has dried out a little bit on this side. So this is where you can decide to only put gel on the side of the face you're working if you wanna save gel. So I'm going to start out by placing one probe on the side of my face here by my temple, and I'm going to start here at the top of my forehead and sweep to the side, checking that I have conduction, then move to the second position on the middle of my forehead, and then on top of my eyebrow out to the side, and just do that 5 times. Then I'll move down to the cheek area and place the probe here next to my ear, just below my temple. I'll start under my eye, sweep out to the side, then second position, move down a little bit, and then just above the lip is the third position, and I'll do that 5 to 10 times. I'm going to spray some of the spray. Then I move below my ear with my probe, and I'm going to move the lymph in this cheek area. And again, you can do this more than 10 times. You could do it 15 times if you feel like the area is really puffy. So it's really customizable. So I'm going to start at the top of my mouth here and pull out, just sweep out. And then at the bottom of my mouth here, and then the jawline. And feel free to pause the tutorial if you want to work an area a little bit more than I'm doing. I'm going to just do this last one and then move on to the next part. So now I'm going to move the lymph from the top of my face to the bottom of my face here as the first step. Place one probe here at the bottom of my ear, and then I'm going to start at the top of the forehead, and I'm just going to move the lymph down. I'm going to do that 5 to 10 times. And then the next step is to move the lymph from the top of the neck down the neck. Put a little bit more spritz on my neck here. Make sure I've got plenty of gel. Okay, so I'm gonna place one probe here at the top of my collarbone because this is where I can get really good conduction. I'm gonna do 3 passes. If you need to do 4 passes to cover all the surface area of your neck, please do. But I'm doing 3 because my neck seems to be broken up into 3 sections. Never going on the center of my neck where my thyroid or my throat is. And I just do 5 to 10 of these. And then I'm gonna bring all the lymph from the top all the way down to the bottom. So I'm gonna keep that probe where I had it here above my collarbone. And I'm gonna drag the lymph from my forehead all the way down to the end of my neck. Wow, I can feel the lymph draining. I'm gonna have to see if that's normal. Wow, I can feel it. That's so crazy. That is cool. Wow. I can like feel the lymph draining. I better ask Jeana if that's normal. That is so cool. It's really hard to do this on camera because it's backwards. I have a monitor here that I'm like looking into and it's like backwards. If I had a mirror, like it would be so much easier because then I could like see what I was doing a lot easier. But I'm doing this on camera and I have this monitor and it's backwards. Wow. All right, that is the end of the Rejuve program. I think that is so cool. My face feels amazing. I can feel like phlegm like in my back of my throat and my sinuses moving around because I definitely have a lot of sinus issues. So that's promising, and I will continue to drink a lot of water today to make sure I'm flushing out my system properly. Now I'm going to move on to erase, which is the mode that lengthens the muscles, so it's smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles. And I've turned my device to erase mode, intensity 400, because I'm a very frequent microcurrent user. I love to use it at 400. Jeana likes to use hers at 300. It's totally up to you. 400, level 2, erase, and then I'm going to actually put more gel on my forehead area just to make sure that it is nice and wet. And I have a bowl here, so it's really easy. I just put a little bit more. And now I'm going to hit run. I'm gonna start just doing 3 passes all across my forehead to smooth out fine lines and wrinkles. And this is where I want to be careful to not touch the probes. So I'm just doing really small movements because I have a really small forehead. So 3 there, and then 3 moving here. And then I do have an expression line here that I'm gonna pull apart 5 times because it bothers me. So feel free to do more passes if there's an area that bothers you. And then I'll move to this side of my forehead. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And then I'm going to move on to my 11s. And I'm going to go really targeted here. I'm just going to pull apart here to smooth out my 11s area. Just do like 3 to 5 right here. Now I'm going to work my crow's feet area and smooth that out. So I'll just brush a little gel on both of my crow's feet on the side of my eyes to get that area prepped. And this is a really small movement because the area is really small. So I'm just placing the probes like this, and then I'm just pulling them apart. I'll do like 5 movements. And then I'll do the other side. And again, I'm always checking to make sure the conductivity bar is solid, which it is when I'm using it. And that's it for the crow's feet. It's really easy. Next, I'm going to move to the lip area to smooth out lines around my lips. So I will place my probes like this, and I'll just pull it apart to stretch out the muscle. And you can definitely taste the metallic. I taste the metallic. I look down, the conductivity bar is solid. I can taste the metallic, so I know it's working. And then I go underneath the mouth. And again, I'm not touching the probes together. I'm just placing them really close and then pulling apart the muscle. Then I'm going to get underneath the lip here and do just really tiny movements to stretch out this area and release any tension and work that line that we sometimes get right between the mouth and the chin. And then I'll move to the side here and pull this part and lengthen this. And then I'll move to this side and lengthen it. So lastly, I'm just going to smooth out my neck because I tend to get some tech neck lines, which I'm sure a lot of you do. So I like to use Erase on my neck. So I'm just going to give a quick spritz to make sure it's nice and wet. My lines generally go this way for tech neck, so I'm just going to pull them apart. I'm going to erase them. So I'm going to just work the neck like this. And then move to the side. And make sure I don't go anywhere near my throat or my thyroid. And then I don't do it this way because I don't have any lines that are going horizontally. So it's up to you. If you do, you can do it that way. Then I'm going to do again this side of my neck, just pulling apart and lengthening those tech neck lines. And the neck can be really tough to get conduction. So if you find that you're not getting conduction at 400, you can just turn it down to like 300 or even lower if you want to go to level 1, like 175, or just put more gel or put some more spritz. Just figure out what works for you to keep conduction, because this area, your skin is really thin, or mine is, and it can be tough to get conduction. But I've got so much spritz on, my skin is so wet that it's working really great. All right, that is it for Erase. Now we'll move on to Educate, which is my favorite mode because that's where I get to see the lift, tighten, and toning of my face muscles. I'm gonna switch to Educate, and again, I'm gonna go up to 400 intensity because I've been using microcurrent for a long time. I love to go up to 400. If I ever feel pain or twitching or zinging, I will turn down the intensity because this is where we want to keep the ATP in our muscles that we're building. If you feel twitching, that means that you're expending ATP. We want to maintain and keep the ATP in our muscles. So be really careful. If you feel twitching, turn it down. But here's how it looks. Level 2, 400. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is work these muscles on either side of the nose. This is a technique that Jeana does, which I think is really cool. And so I'm gonna include it in my tutorial today. We're gonna place one probe right under the eye here. Let me make sure this is nice and wet. I'm gonna place one probe here under the eye. Don't get too close to your eye. And then I'm gonna just, ooh, and I feel twitching right away. Wow. I'm going to turn down the intensity to 350 say, because I do not want any twitching. That's so interesting that I feel so much more at 400 in that area. So yeah, now I'm at like 350. Let's see how that feels. Under the eye. I definitely feel more twitching. I'm gonna turn that down to 300 actually. I wanna be really careful not to overdo it. I'm very conservative with my devices, as you all know if you watch my channel. Let's see how 300 feels. That feels so much better. So I think Jeana's right. 300 is like a really good intensity for this area. So I go at the top of my eye, I go from my upper lip and I just pull it up and pinch it. I pinch and hold. And then I'm gonna do the other side and I'm gonna hold it under my eye here, one probe under my eye, start at the bottom of the lip, and I'm just gonna push up and hold. 1, 2, 3. I'll do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to finish the rest of the cheek area, and I'm going to hold the probe a little bit further out. I'm going to start at the bottom of my mouth here, and I'm going to push up and hold and pinch for 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I do the movement 3 times. Push up and hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to move out a little bit further. Push up and hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Since we just finished the plumping of the cheek, now we're going to do some lifting. So I will place one probe here at the bottom of my earlobe, and then at the side of my mouth, I'm just going to move it up and pinch and hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to move my probe up a little higher and do the same move but a little higher. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I can even come a little higher and lift this whole area again here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good difference so far, wow. And keep in mind, I'm only using 300 intensity, so I could get even more lift if I were using 400, but I'm sticking at 300. But again, I don't want to expend ATP, so you want to make sure that you're not getting the twitching. So it's a balance you have to find. Now, if you have nasolabial folds and you want to work on those more, here's where you could do a few more lifting and holding and pinching. So you can pull up where the folds are and just lift and hold. 2, 3. Just do a few more moves. See how I'm pulling up that area to lift up my face and plump up and lift, smooth out my face and get rid of some of those nasolabial folds or marionette lines. And now I'm going to do that cheek area on the other side of my face. So I'm going to just put a little bit more gel and I'm going to spritz it and we will do the same thing. So I'm going to go back to the cheek area and I'm going to do some pinch and holds where I pinch and hold 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then move it out more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you could do another one depending on how much surface area your face has. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to move to the lifting movement since that was the plumping movement. So I'm going to place one probe here at the edge of my ear here by my earlobe. And I'm just going to take this area here and I'm going to lift and hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I move my probe up a little higher. And then again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then yet again a little bit higher. And just do the same movement where we're lifting and holding. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then if you want to, again, work some more of those nasolabial folds, you can grip right above it and pull up and hold to lift it. And we should start to see some symmetry in my face because now this side should be lifted to match the other side, and I definitely see that. So you can continue to work your face in the areas that you want to work on, the areas that are bothering you. So now let's move to the eye area, and I love that my intensity is at 300 because whenever you run out of time, you can just push the up arrow to add more time. So I'm gonna spritz my face, make sure my eyes are very wet. So I'm gonna do the under eye first. I love that we're at 300 because you never wanna go above 300 on Educate under your eye because it's a really sensitive area. So I placed one probe here on the edge of my nose underneath my eye, and I start here on the outside and I glide the probe in. And I don't touch it, but I just do it. I like to do this like 5 to 10 times. I'm trying to rejuvenate my eye area, so I like to do this 5 to 10 times. Then I move to the other eye, same thing, place one probe here, go on the outer section, and then sweep in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm gonna lift my hoods. This is my favorite part of the whole routine because my hooded eyes are my biggest challenge. So let's start on this eye here, and I'm going to take the probes here on either side of my eyebrow. I'm going to move them into the middle together without touching, and then I'm gonna lift up and hold for 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do this 3 times. Push, hold, 1, 2, 3. I'm checking for conductivity, which I have. I'm going to glide, push up, and hold, 2, 3. Let's do one more. Glide, lift, and hold, 2, 3. Look at that. Wow, that's crazy. I love this mode. Now I'm gonna do some more pinch and holds here on the tail, the center, and the inner corner of my eyebrow. So I'm gonna push up and hold, and then I'm going to use the other probe to hold it in place here, 2, 3, push up and hold, 2, 3, and then the last one, 2, 3. Then the center brow, I'm going to push up and use this top probe to hold it, 2, 3, push up and hold, 2, 3, push up and hold, 2, 3, and then I'm going to move to the inner corner of the brow, push up and hold, and then use the other probe to hold it, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 3, and there is this eye, looking so much better already. Then I'll do the same thing on the other eye where I do the glide, lift and hold, 2, 3, glide, lift and hold, 2, 3, glide, lift and hold, 2, 3. Okay, now we're gonna do the next movement where we do the outer corner, the center, and the inner corner. So I'm just gonna push up and hold, 1, 2, 3. Do that 3 times. Push up and hold, 2, 3. Push up and hold, 2, 3. Then move to the center, push up and hold, 2, 3. Push up and hold, 2, 3. Push up and hold, 2, 3. Then the inner corner, 1, 2, 3. Push up and hold, 2, 3. Push up and hold, 2, 3. Push up and hold, 2, 3. My whole eye area is looking more awake, more lifted, more youthful. If you feel like you're lacking symmetry in any of the areas, you can work a little bit more to get the same lift on each side. It's totally up to you. And that is it. That is the whole routine of using Rejuve, Erase, and Educate on the same day. I will just now clean my probes off with a wet washcloth, or I might even use an alcohol swab to make sure they're nice and clean, put them away, and I will wipe off all of the gel off of my face with a wet washcloth, and then I will move on to my regular skincare routine. You can use Rejuve every single day. Since I'm in maintenance mode on my Myolift Mini, I would be in maintenance mode for the TriWave, so I will be using the full routine of Rejuve followed by Erase and Educate once a week. It's totally up to you. If you're still in that initial period, you can use the device a few times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, and then once you get that desired result, say a couple months later, you can move to maintenance mode and use it every week. But now my skin and my face and my neck is gonna look lifted and smooth and just more youthful for the next week. So I won't need to use my device until the next week with the full program, and I can continue to use Rejuve every single day. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to use it every day because I have so many other devices I'm testing. If I can use it every other day or a couple times a week, I think I'm going to start to see some really great results, so I will report back. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial today of the new TriWave device. I am really excited to have this extra mode available to me and to all of you. Again, if you want to shop the device, I have links down in the description where you can shop it on the Art of Skincare site. I thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions that I can answer down below in the comments. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like, leave a comment, share with a friend, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!